In today's video, we're going to discuss how to play Yieldmax funds for their extremely high dividend yields while lowering your risk at the same time. Yieldmax funds help us earn over $300,000 per year in dividends, as you can see below. And our performance value shows that we're beating all the indexes year to date. We're up 21%, the S&P is up 12, the Nasdaq's up 14, and the Dow is up 3. So we're beating all the indexes with Yieldmax, Cornerstone, and Defiance, which help us live the FIRE lifestyle. FIRE stands for Financially Independent Retire Early. If you need help living free from a 9 to 5, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. We just live off of these dividends. It's $300,000 per year in dividends. They pay us monthly, just like a paycheck. And I use some margin here to get ahead. Okay, we have $200,000 in margin debt now because I've added a few things to the portfolio today. $200,000 in margin debt, but our income is $300,000, so we'll pay that margin debt back in less than 1 year, and then my account will grow by this equivalent amount. Okay, so even when you're in debt and you pay off your debt, it grows your equity by the equivalent amount, whereas with a credit card, if you pay that down, you're just at a zero balance. But again, if you pay this debt down with dividends, your account will grow by the equivalent amount, so our account should be at $1 million in the next year, all things considered, if the market goes sideways from here, because we collect these dividends of over $300,000 per year. But I'm going to share with you how to collect these dividends safely with Yieldmax. Okay, I have a possible life hack that you might be interested in. All right, so here we go. So the first thing that we have here is MSTY. Okay, I sold a put option on MSTY for $1,300 at 31 strike. So that means that we received, again, $1,300 just for clicking the mouse and selling a put option on MSTY, and then that lowered our margin debt by $1,300. Now, a lot of people are scared of put options. I don't know why. They're safer than buying stocks. If I sell put options here, my cost basis for MSTY, for example, 31 minus, let's just call it 15. 30 minus 15 for easy math. That puts my cost basis at 15 a share. So while everyone else is controlling MSTY at around 31 a share, we're controlling MSTY at 15 a share, roughly. And we're still collecting this 124% dividend because we also own MSTY outright. So we own MSTY, we own CONY, but we're selling puts on MSTY to lower our cost basis. And I'll share with you how I do that in 1 second. First, you need to be aware that Yieldmax funds have high maintenance. Okay, so MSTY, for example, it is 50% maintenance, as you can see here. Yieldmax, similar deal. Yieldmax, all Yieldmax stocks are 50% maintenance except for Microsoft and maybe one other. So Yieldmax 50%. Now let's go over to CONY. Okay, this isn't a Bitcoin video in particular. This is just a way to lower your risk with Yieldmax funds. You can do this with anything. So CONY 50% maintenance as well, but CONY has a 100% dividend yield. So you have to be aware of the maintenance with Yieldmax, and that's why I put so much of my money in Cornerstone. This is not a video about Cornerstone, but I don't care what you guys say about Cornerstone. This is a total approach to live the FIRE lifestyle. FIRE stands for, again, Financially Independent Retire Early, and I don't want anything derailing my plans to live free from 9 to 5. So I put most of my money in the indexes that are low maintenance, and Cornerstone is 30% maintenance. If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my Volume 3 e-guide. Cornerstone is also a 4-star fund, so this is why I have so much of my money parked in it. In addition to its 30% maintenance, it has a 20% dividend, and it drips that dividend down at the bottom for free money every month. You can also see that Cornerstone moves upward, left to right here on its chart. So if you go to Cornerstone here, you'll see that it goes sideways to down over time. Okay, if you go to a large chart of Cornerstone and you zoom in, you'll see that, yes, on a 10-year chart, it moves sideways to down. And again, this isn't about Cornerstone. This is about a total approach to living the FIRE lifestyle with Yieldmax. And Yieldmax is 50% maintenance, and it's not diversified completely. You know, YMAG and YMAX aren't the entire index. They're largely technology. So I'm trying to always stay fully diversified and anchored to the S&P and Nasdaq as a whole. Cornerstone accomplishes this for me. Okay, here's the chart on Cornerstone. It goes sideways to down. But again, on Morningstar, it goes upward, left to right. You just have to factor back in dividends, drips, and rights offerings. And if you want to play Cornerstone properly, you need to time it between its rights offerings. And that's in my Volume 4 e-guide if you need help with that. Also, when you buy my e-guides, you get free access to the Discord chat room for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. Here is the announcement channel here. We also have over 1,000 members here in the Discord chat room pursuing the FIRE lifestyle. So if I can't answer your questions about your brokerage account, someone there most likely can. Also, if all of this information is going over your head, well, everyone on Discord is very willing to talk about margin, maintenance, Cornerstone, Yieldmax. We have a Yieldmax channel here. We have a Defiance channel here. This is the best Discord chat room in the world, in my opinion, when it comes to finance, and you can ask any of my members here. They're in other Discords, and they say all the time, that our Discord chat room is the best. So keep that in mind. When you buy my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for life. You don't have to pay for Discord. And we talk about all things fire related and margin related. So this is the hack that we've been discussing lately for CONY and MSTY. This is a way to still control MSTY, still get these really high dividends of over 300,000 per year, and CONY, okay, these dividends from Yieldmax. You can still control them. I own MSTY, I own CONY, but I own small amounts of them because they're not in the indexes. You have to keep a total indexed approach here when you're investing in the market. First of all, if you just want to beat the market, you need to stay indexed. But if you want to live the fire lifestyle, and especially if you want to use some margin like I use, you need to stay indexed. For every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. You're automatically granted this power to yourself in a brokerage account once you're over 25,000 in E-Trade. So this is a real gift to get ahead. All of the greats use loans to get ahead. My margin debt, by the way, is only 6% interest, so I don't mind holding this margin debt. Many of my clients who bought my e-guides negotiated their rates down as well. You can call me anytime if you want me to help walk you through the process of negotiating your rates down. So we're also lowering our margin with these sold puts. We collect about 50 to 60,000 in put premiums per year. I mean, look at Bitcoin here. 20,000 we collected from BitX, 6,000 from BitO, 4,000 from IEP. And if you add up all these in this column here, you'll see that it's over 50,000 in premiums. So in addition to the 300,000 that we're earning in dividends, which qualify to banks for loans, options do not qualify to banks for loans. I'm all about the fire lifestyle here. I want to live free. I don't want to go back to a job. So I need dividends to act as my pay stub. Dividends are what qualify you for more loans to level up your account with. So yeah, you can grow with the market, or you can grow with loans from your dividends and grow even faster, okay? And then if you want to grow with Yieldmax, you're not gonna be able to get that growth because they decay and they go sideways to down, kind of like Cornerstone. But Cornerstone, you time that between its rights offerings to really get ahead. Yieldmax, you have to time them between their highs and lows on the chart. So around the lows, we're always rebalancing and buying more, and around the highs, we're always trimming. But in this case, I also sold options on MSTY and CONY to get paid immediately. With CONY, we got $1,500 and a $30 strike. So what's 30 minus 15 roughly? Again, we have a $15 price, and the stock price of CONY is around what? Where's CONY? Right here. If we go type in CONY, we'll see that CONY is around 22. So it has to fall 7 more points just for us to break even. MSTY, it has to fall almost 15 points just for us to break even. That's a 50% drop. So if the stock drops 50%, we'll break even, okay? And of course, with our dividends that we own with our outright shares, we'll cash flow this anyway. In less than 1 year, we're gonna have all of our money back from MSTY if this dividend yield stays over 100%. So I'm lowering my risk with Yieldmax by selling the put options on them as well. That lowers my cost basis, and everyone else is controlling it at 30 or 22. We're controlling it down here at 15 a share roughly for each one. If you need help selling options like I do to lower margin and live the fire lifestyle, that's in my volume 6 e-guide. So again, I can't stress this enough, okay? We own MSTY, we own CONY, but we don't want to have too much in them, even though they have really large dividends that will cash flow over time, no matter what happens with the share price, no matter, if they go down 10% per day. If we keep collecting these dividends, we're going to cash flow over time, and we're going to qualify to banks for more loans. But I want to still control MSTY and CONY if I can at lower prices to lower my risk, and I want to pay down my margin debt. So we got about $3,000 from just selling these puts on MSTY and CONY, and that lowered our margin debt by about $3,000. Then we took those proceeds and invested them elsewhere for higher returns. Funds like Defiance and even YMAG and YMAX. So again, I take these premiums, lower my margin, and then I also invest for higher returns elsewhere, which then raise my margin back. But I don't care because the returns that I'm getting from YMAG or YMAX far outpace my margin interest that I'm charged. As long as we're not too over leveraged with margin, and so I always say use a small amount of margin. We only use a fraction of this 1.4 million in purchasing power. So use small amounts, use the amounts that your dividends can pay back. And also, I always keep put options on in the portfolio so we can withstand over 30% correction in the market. Look at our available withdrawal, but Yieldmax has very high maintenance, so that sucks up our available withdrawal. Again, if you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my volume 3 e-guide. And then we always keep put options on just in case, not sold puts. These are the sold puts, but we also buy puts, as you can see here. These puts here, like for example, let's see, QQQ, SPY, QQQ. We always keep some of these puts on just for crash insurance in case the market tanks 50% overnight. So we always keep these put options on. And if you need more help insuring your portfolio, that's in my volume 5 e-guide. So we get dividends but we also get days gains because Yieldmax decays and goes sideways to down. So Cornerstone is the only fund that we have in here that grows upward left to right while keeping our maintenance low, which then keeps our available withdrawal high. That means I can swipe my E-Trade checking card and go wherever I want in this world. Even with my margin debt, I can still swipe my E-Trade checking card and go, again, wherever I want. I can buy cars, clothes, shoes, whatever I want with my margin debt, as long as I keep my available withdrawal high. So I can withstand over 30% corrections and still pay my bills to live the fire lifestyle with, but we need low maintenance for that, and that's what Cornerstone accomplishes. And we need upward left to right growth, which is what Cornerstone accomplishes. Defiance gives us our sideways to down movement, but it gives us huge dividends. And Yieldmax gives us big dividends, but also some capital gains, which you have to trade around. So I don't like to do all that trading outright. Traders tend to lose 90% of the time. So when I sell options instead on MSTY and CONY, that lowers my cost basis significantly, so I don't have the same risk as other traders. Plus, again, our dividends will always cash flow us over time. So if you need more help doing what I'm doing, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. When you buy my e-guides, Discord access is free for life, as well as my phone number, so just keep this in mind. Also, if you like the video, click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon, everyone. Thanks.